Ladies and gentlemen, the Biathlon World Cup is right around the corner, so it's that time of year for me to make my predictions as to who I think are going to win the Crystal Globes this year. Now, I put a ton of thought and effort into this. I went through and researched every single athlete, made compare and contrast charts. I tried to use data and analytics to really come to these conclusions. So, without further ado, I'm sorry to ruin the World Cup season for you, but these are going to be the Crystal Globe winners. Now, my first Crystal Globe that we're going to look at is going to be the individual globe. Now, because this is a shooter's race, the winner of the Crystal Globe is usually a little bit more of a wild card, someone who we don't expect. So for that reason, I'm going to be going with Justus Strelo for the men's Crystal Globe and Vanessa Voigt for the women's. Now, you might be thinking, Justus Strelo, that's a crazy pick, and you're kind of right. But Justus is an incredibly good shooter. He was actually one of the best shooters on the World Cup, shooting 93%. The thing about Justus, unfortunately, is that his ski speed is off by just one tick. If he can bring his ski speed up by just 0.5% and continue to shoot the way that he does, I think this globe is in the bag for him. Now, looking over at the women's side, Strelo's teammate Vanessa Voigt, this is even crazier. Shooting 98% in individuals last season. Of the 4 individuals, including World Championships, she missed one shot all season, and unfortunately, that was the one shot that missed her the globe. Just like Strelo, Voigt needs to notch up her ski speed by 0.5% if she wants to get the win. Hopefully, she learned this season that a couple seconds here or there could end up being more points, which would ultimately get her the globe. All right, it's time for the sprint globe. This is going to be a really interesting pick because whoever wins the sprint has the best opportunity to win the pursuit as well as the overall globe. So for the sprint globe, I'm going with 2 Norwegians. First one, Ingrid Landmark Tandervold, and the second, not Johannes Tingesbo, but Johan Olav Botten. Now let's go back to Tandervold first before we dive into Botten. Tandervold was the sprint globe winner in 2024, and she was the most consistent amongst everyone in this solo event. She's a way better shooter in sprint competitions, and she has the ski speed to make up for a miss. So for that reason, I like Tandervold in the sprint. Now back to the men's side. You might be thinking, Botten might not even be on the World Cup this season. Here is my prediction. I think Botten is going to get an early opportunity in the season. Because of our new start order rules, all of our favorites are going to be starting a little bit more towards the back. Botten, not really having good standing because he didn't race the full season last year, is going to start earlier in the order. He's going to have the freshest tracks, the best conditions, and he's going to pop a really good race to start the season, and that's going to solidify him on the team for the rest of the year. Now you might be thinking, but there's also the Bo brothers, there's Christensen, there's Dahle, there's all these other great athletes who any of them could do well in the sprint, and I agree. But last year, Botten showed me that he is one of the best biathletes in the world. His skiing when he was on the World Cup, despite actually having the disadvantage of having to start literally back in the 90s and even starting bib 100, he was able to pop top 5 ski times in place in the flower ceremony with that terrible start spot in the hot, humid snow. So if Botten can do that with that massive disadvantage, I think when he's racing more head-to-head or even racing with the advantage, I think he's as fast as anyone on the World Cup. Now the question really becomes, does Botten have the shooting percentage to really become the Crystal Globe winner for the sprint? Well, I think the answer is yes. Out of any race, Botten actually shoots the best in the sprint, shooting 87% in the sprint, which is definitely good enough to earn you the Crystal Globe. So I know this one's a little bit out there, but I'm going with Johan Olav Botten to get the sprint globe. Now, even though I like these 2 Norwegians to win the sprint globes, I don't like them to back it up and win the pursuit globes. For the pursuit globes, I'm gonna go with Sebastian Samuelsson from Sweden and Julia Simone from France. First, Sebastian. He finished 4th in the pursuit globe last year, and honestly, that's kind of surprising because to me, it seemed like his season was a little lackluster. He DNS'd the sprint in Lenzerheide, which meant he didn't get to race the pursuit in Lenzerheide, and really, I think if he raced that and had a good top 10 performance, he would have been second, maybe even first in the globe race. He actually shoots a full 3% better in pursuits than any other competition. So something about this format he really likes, that head-to-head, that fight. Seb has even been known to call out Johannes Tingesbo as being able to beat him in a head-to-head sprint to the finish line. So that's the level of cockiness that you need in order to win the pursuit. So for that reason, I'm going with Sebastian Samuelsson for the pursuit globe. Now on the other side, we have Julia Simone, and for very similar reasons to Seb, I like Julia to win the pursuit globe. She was born for head-to-head competitions. Julia Simone loves the competitive nature of of this pursuit. Last season, she finished second in the pursuit chase, and maybe it had something to do with the team drama and the legal drama from last season, but I truly still think that she is the best when it comes to the pursuits. In head-to-head, Simone is actually a 2% better shooter, and even a 4% better shooting in the stand. So she is not making those mistakes in the pursuit, but especially when push comes to shove at the end of the race, this is where she unleashes her secret weapon. Not only does she shoot 4% better in the pursuit races in the standing position, but she also shoots faster. The amount of pressure that puts on your competitors when you're not only hitting your target, but you're shooting fast and you're basically sending that message to them that they need to keep up or they're gonna lose the race, can really mess with some athletes and really make them make mistakes that Simone will definitely benefit from. So for that reason, I like Julia Simone in the pursuit. But real quick, before we go any further, I want to thank you all for watching this type of content and helping me grow my YouTube channel to coming up on 5,000 subscribers. I've really enjoyed this whole journey and making the content and talking about my favorite sport, biathlon. But those of you who have been following my channel for the last couple of years know that I like to make different types of content. I have my podcast with my friend Ethan, I have coaching content with Biathlon U, and I even have highly produced biathlon stories of really cool things that have happened in our sport. This year, I decided I'm gonna break apart the channel into 4 separate channels so that way each style of content has its own home. So if you like this content and you're a biathlon fan, go check out my other channels and I'll leave a link to them down below. Go subscribe to those other channels so you can get more specific types of biathlon content at those specific channels. But as always, I really appreciate you guys watching, hitting that subscribe button, sharing, saying hi in person. This has just been an unbelievable journey for me, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds for my YouTube channel. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Let's get back to it. All right, we're getting down to the wire now. We got our mass start globe. I'm gonna go with Justine Braisaz-bouchet from France and Johannes Dale Skjævdal from Norway. Now let's start with the ladies. I could have gone with anyone here. Could have gone with Julia Simone, Elvira Orberg, Lisa Vitozzi, but I'm gonna go with Justine Braisaz-bouchet. Something about the mass start just brings out the best in Justine. She was the mass start globe winner from 2022, and just like Simone in the pursuit race, Braisaz's shooting goes up a full 5% in mass starts, and then her skiing, believe it or not, actually goes up as well, and she's already a top 5 skier on the World Cup. Her one fault though in the mass start is that her shooting times tend to be a little bit slower, but that's nothing that she can't make up for on the skis. So if she's taking her time to hit her targets and avoid the penalty loop, she definitely has the ski speed to make up a few seconds on her rivals who might shoot a little bit quicker. So for that reason, I'm liking Justine Braisaz-bouchet in the mass start globe. Now on the men's side, same thing could have been said about any of the men that haven't been mentioned here yet, but I like Johannes Dale because he's built for the head-to-head competitions like these other women that we just mentioned. On numerous occasions last year, if he was within 20 seconds of the lead on the last lap, you kind of felt like it was gonna go to Dale. That guy will not give up, and he's got insane last lap speed that I don't think can be matched by anyone on the World Cup. His shooting will be a key factor for him this season. He's always been a little bit rocky on the range. He definitely had a big step up this season. In mass starts last year, Dale actually shot better than Johannes Tingesbo, averaging 87 with shooting 90% in the stand. Really tells you that when the race is coming to a close and it's coming to the finish line, he's gonna put his best foot forward. Now Dale was on the podium for 3 of the 4 mass starts last season. I expect to see Dale back in the fight this season, and if he can do the same thing that he did last year, like in Anholtz when he absolutely tracked down Vetle Christensen, I don't think anyone's beating Dale in a mass start. All right, here we go. It's time for the overall Crystal Globe. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. For the men's side, I'm gonna go with Johannes Tingesbo. And I know you might be thinking, boo, that's boring. But let's be honest here. Johannes Tingesbo is the biathlete of this generation, and we are seeing history in the making here. Did you know that Bo is only 10 wins away from surpassing Ole-Einar Bjørnedalen for the most wins all time? I think we're witnessing history here with Bo, and I don't think he's going to hold back at anything to get those 10 wins this season. So for that reason, I'm liking Johannes Tingesbo to win the men's overall. Now finally, it's time for the women's overall, and my pick this season is Lou Jomino. Now that's a name I have not said yet this video, but do not worry, I did not forget about Lou. Lou, in my opinion, was hands down the best biathlete last season and should have won the Crystal Globe. The only reason she didn't is because she had to miss 2 races in Lenzerheide because of coronavirus. Corona took the globe out of Jameau's hands, but when the whole world was focused on Vitozzi and Tandervold and who's gonna win head-to-head, we need points, we need finishing places, Lou Jomino snuck in there and finished 2nd overall, and she made her way back from falling pretty far down in the standings because she missed those 2 races. But if you take the amount of points that Jomino earned and the amount of races that she did, she actually earned more points per race than any other biathlete in the world last year. So for that reason, I like Lou Jomino as the best biathlete in the world. She's a fast skier, she's a great racer, and she's also got a level of calmness to her, a level-headed aspect that is very Martin Fourcade-esque, believe it or not. So for this reason, I foresee there to be a big fight between Vitozzi, Tandervold, maybe Oberg. I could see there being a big fight at the front of the field, and Lou Jomino sneaky, making her way back in there and coming away with the globe at the end of the season. All right, what do you think? Those are my predictions for the Crystal Globes this biathlon season. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Did I get them spot on? You can let me know that. Or am I completely off? Am I completely wrong about any of these predictions? Let me know in the comments down below. But I guess we're just gonna have to watch the Biathlon World Cup season and find out how right I am. Until next time, we'll see you.